What's going on, guys, and welcome to something slightly different, you could call it, on my site. I am doing a video log, also known as a vlog. Obviously you guys are more aware of the content I do in the past, where I've been doing obviously loads of posts based on transfer news and obviously match reviews, but I thought today would be something great to do something different and just bring a bit more variation to the site and just see where we go with this. I think it's something that I can do, something that's I'm more than capable of doing, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's something different. If you guys can give me feedback, that'd be absolutely fantastic, and let me know what you think. So yeah, anyway, welcome to this little vlog. Today I'm going to recap basically what happened today at Wimbledon. If you don't know, we played AFC Wimbledon in a friendly and we drew 1-1. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, we could have done a lot better. Unfortunately, we had some bad news that O'Brien's managed to get an injury, and it looks like it could be ankle ligament injury. And obviously, last time I did touch the base in my last post on my blog that we went to Kings Meadow in 2010. Sean Batt signed freshly after his loan spell during the playoff push, and he's managed to pick up a ligament injury and was out for 2 full seasons. Obviously, he came back towards the end of the second season where he was out, but he was nothing like the player he was, and you could clearly see it was really affecting him. And unfortunately, it didn't look good. It really didn't look good. Now, I pray to God that this is not the case with Aiden. I hope it's just perhaps even 4 or 5 weeks, because that's probably what the best case scenario will be in this scenario. And it now leaves us in a bit of a situation where, do we go for a striker? We have to go for a striker. Who's it going to be? Me personally, there's not a lot available right now. I mean, we can dip into League 2, the conference. We can always look down. But in my eyes, we're going to need 2 strikers if Aiden's out for a long while. One on loan and one that's going to have to be a long-term fix. Now, one on loan that I would consider is Steve Morrison. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but I think for a loan option for a year to play under Harris in League 1, I think Steve Morrison will prove a very, very good option, especially in League 1. I mean, just the thought of him and Gregory up front together is something that could perhaps really work together. I mean, I know Morrison's not the ideal target man, but neither is Aiden O'Brien and Gregory, and they both played together last season and done well. So it could be something to look into. I'm really upset for Aiden O'Brien because he was a really good player, and he is a good player. It's not like he's dead or anything, but like he can tell this pre-season in the 45 minutes, 60 minutes he had at Bromley, and the 10 minutes we saw today, every time he got the ball at his feet, he just ran with the ball, and it looked like abundance of energy, and he looked like a really good player. And it's unfortunate because it would have been his first full campaign, but we'll see what happens. It could be something little. We might be back in a couple of weeks' time, but I hope that's the best case scenario, but we'll see what happens. On to today's game. On the screen right now, you should see the team selection of what we've done today with Neil Harris, and yeah, I mean, a good team, I suppose. It's probably arguably our best in most positions. In goal was David Ford, back from his long spell away. Obviously, we all thought he was going to go to Fulham. Apparently, he had held talks, but they chose to go for Andrew Lonergan, who was obviously at Bolton last season. He was in goal, played 45 minutes. Jordan Archer played the second half. Right back was Sean Cummins. Left back was Joe Martin, who obviously the free transfer from Gillingham. Centre half pairing today was Byron Webster and Tony Craig. In the middle, Harris went with Ed Upson, and Ed Upson on the left, Fred Onyedinma on the right, and then we had Sean Williams and Jimmy Abdou in the middle. Again, I mean, I don't really get why we're playing Ed Upson on the left, but it kind of shows where we're missing. We need a left winger. I mean, Chris Twiddett came on and done well, but he wasn't really used on the left. He was more kind of on the right. And up front we went with O'Brien and John Marquis. John Marquis seems to be coming on leaps and bounds, but it's always the way it is with John Marquis. His touch and his finishing is not the greatest in the world, but his work rate is second to none. I like to think next week we're going to see Lee Gregory and John Marquis play together, and I think it could be something great, because Lee Gregory makes great runs. If they can build a kind of chemistry between each other, John Marquis tends to win more than most of his headers. Obviously not the ideal target man, hence we're looking for someone in the mould of James Hansen. But I think today the team played well. Chris Twiddett came on after 10 minutes. The first half itself wasn't the greatest affair, obviously. We lost 1-0 in the first half, you can look at it as. Lyle Taylor getting the goal, who was formerly at Millwall 5-6 years ago. He was in our books and came through the academy. Again, not the greatest defender in the world. Byron Webster could be culpable, but I think more Tony Craig as well. I mean, the 2 of them in general are not the most mobile defenders in the world. I've touched on it in the previous post. I'd love to see Craig and Sid Nelson at the back. I think that's what's going to be the pairing next season. I mean, in the season coming up, and I think this will be next week at Stevenage. Tony Craig's today been appointed captain. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's probably the only best option in the team to be a captain. We've got Sean Williams today, and I think Beavers took the armband towards the end of the game, but I don't really see Mark Beavers as a leader in the team, but I could be proven wrong. But Tony Craig's been made captain, a kind of proof in the statement that he's going to play every game. Is Beavers going to stay in that case? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, first half as a general, like I was saying, not the greatest in the world. I mean, we'll have to look to see what we can do, because we did dominate the first half as in possession, but we just weren't creating chances. Second half was much better. I mean, towards the end there was lots of changes, but our youth players seemed to have much more of an abundance of energy and seemed to do a lot better than AFC Wimbledon's players. Sid Nelson obviously getting the equaliser. Ironically, I was saying, joking around, I'd love to see Sid Nelson's first goal for Millwall, and we got to saw it today. but unfortunately he's not in the league competitive game. It was just a great moment because obviously Sid Nelson being a Millwall fan, you get the impression that if he does score a goal, he's going to go absolutely bonkers, and I can't wait to see him score a league goal, because I remember Shane Lowry scoring away to Coventry a few years ago and he went absolutely nuts, and if the advertising ball wasn't there, he would have kept running. I mean, it's the kind of thing you want to see where there's the bond between the fans and the players, because obviously in recent years we've not really had the Millwall type player, as people like to say. Now hopefully with Harris in charge, we're starting to see these kind of players come through, and fingers crossed Sid Nelson can push on this season as well. But yeah, the second half team, I think at the start of the half we had John Archer in goal and Chris Twiddek up front, which was only changed from the starting 11, but obviously Chris Twiddek was on for Aidan O'Brien. After about 65-70 minutes, we started to make the changes. Of the changes, Jack Powell really impressed, so did Alfie Pavey. I mean, Pavey's not necessarily, he's more in the mould of John Marquis, you could say. He worked his bollocks off, but nothing too special from him. I mean, he's obviously a young player, so he's got a lot to learn. Jamie Philpott done well, he's a lot of energy. Hopefully maybe we could see something from Jamie Philpott, obviously with Aidan O'Brien's injury. I mean, one person's downfall could be a room for another person's uproar, so we'll have to really see what happens in that case. Who else played well? Joe Martin seems to have a good game. He's solid left back. Obviously, he's not been backed up by a left winger, which I think Harris will look to identify and hopefully get a left winger in. But I think overall, the goal itself, it was a bit of a scrappy one, but Sid Nelson won't complain, obviously. And it's just now a case of pushing on, see if we can get another striker in. Now, I'm not going to touch on that today because obviously I've touched on getting strikers before. If you want to see posts, look through my blog because I've posted about it before. What is available now? That's the question. So I asked you guys, what would you do if you was Neil Harris right now? Who would you sign and why? I say we need at least one more left winger. In the end, we haven't actually got a left winger in the club in a minute. I mean, we've got Lee Martin who can play on the left, and we've got Fred Onyedinma, and we've got Paris Cohen Hall. I think we need one more player. I don't know, we need basically like a Miles Weston comes to mind, someone that can get the ball and carry it and run, and is left-footed. Now, obviously, that's a bit of an issue because there's not too many left-footed players around that are necessarily the greatest players in the world. But it's something we'll have to look into. I think it's going to be a case of that we need that front man, especially experience. Steve Morrison does fit the bill, whether or not it's something you guys agree with or not. I'll be intrigued to know. So I hope you've enjoyed this little post. I've added in the team sheets for you guys. I've also got some clips in for you guys. If it's something you've enjoyed, let me know. I mean, it's something different. I think it's something I could bring to the channel and to my site. So yeah, thank you for watching. And if you have enjoyed, please let me know and take it easy. Bye bye.